Hello everyone, I'm Wet Blanket, and I'm weird. Not like other girls. Have you ever seen me without this stupid hat on my head? No. You know why? Cause that's weird. I'm weird. And by that I mean autistic. And because I didn't get the E=MC² autism, and instead got something more akin to the Chris Chan brand, I've fallen victim to a lot of internet cults. Scientists today have taken to the word fandom instead, but who are we really kidding? This, combined with me being a product of the early 2000s, means I was into a lot of things that would get me put into a cringe compilation. One of these internet black holes I found myself sucked into at the ripe age of 13 was Creepypasta. Yes, though I lived in a Christian household where I wasn't allowed to dye my hair or wear what I wanted until I made my own money and therefore couldn't be stopped, I was emo, goddammit! Seen, even. I loved them all. Slenderman, Jeff the Killer, Laughing Jack, Ben Drowned, The Hornets Gang, Tiki Toby, Masky, Hoodie, Sonic.exe, SmileDog.jpg, Squidward, Suicide, Sally, Jane the Killer, Cupcakes, Lost Silver, and even fucking Clockwork. I ate that shit up and came back for seconds, which is hilarious, considering most of these timeless classics have found themselves on the Trollpasta website because, well, they were written by other 13-year-olds. I'm gonna get this out of the way right now. In no way do I think these stories condone actual violence. People who think that horror stories cause actual crime are the same crowd that believe that violent video games cause violence. I don't agree with either of these statements. Yes, there are people who have read Creepypasta that have done horrible things, and I don't wish to sweep that under the rug. In the same way that people have played violent video games and have engaged in violence. However, I don't believe that correlation equals causation in these cases. These people are horrible and they should be looked at as such. To blame their actions on the media they consumed is to exonerate them of some of the blame. Everyone that I've personally known in this community has been nothing but kind, caring. Though I know some have had alternative experiences, I simply wish to talk about this community and the kinds of people it drew in back in its heyday. With that said, let's start a conversation. Like I said, I really got into Creepypasta when I was 13. My first memory of it was when I read straight from the website on the way to a dentist appointment. From there, that obviously 2000s era website became my best friend. When I wasn't reading online and probably letting multiple viruses have my computer in the process, I was on YouTube, listening to the two frontrunners of the Creepypasta community narrate the literature audiobook style. If you were a Creepypasta narration fan, you probably knew of the top two choices. There was British-flavored Creeps McPasta and American-flavored Mr. Creepypasta. There were also other very talented narrators, of course, but those are the main ones I personally remember. If you were a music fan, there was a plethora to choose from. Fan music ranged from silly to serious, and the main devil darling of all things musical and scary was none other than Madame Macabre. Side note, I love that queen. If fan music wasn't really your cup of blood, don't you worry, there were AMVs or animated music videos and PMVs or picture music videos aplenty, featuring a delightful mix of the greatest emo bops of the time. Some of my personal faves were Sarcasm and Don't You Dare Forget the Sun by Get Scared, A Match into Water and King for a Day by Pierce the Veil, and of course, who could forget Bring Me to Life by Evanescence? Shit, there would even be pictorial tributes to our creepy crew with fan songs from other fandoms, namely the Living Tombstones September and Discord. Now that you've got your stories and songs, it's time to look the part. Creepypasta fan fashion was usually a wild mixture of classic SEMO and 2010s Tumblr core. One thing was certain though, you had to have this symbol. This guy is called the Slender Proxy symbol, and it's pretty much a calling card to all other fans in your immediate area that you're one of them. You are pretty much naked without it. From there, the world is your graveyard. As long as it's dark, it's made the mark. Most fans would deck out in their calf-length Chuck Taylors or Converse, rubber and bead bracelets, gothic and skeletal jewelry, long hair, beanies, and even colored contacts, but the choice is really all yours. There were also fans that liked other more colorful things. Scene kids loved Creepypasta, and they still do. It's very commonplace to see a goth, emo, and scene kid bond over a shared love of Jeff the Killer, so really, any kind of alternative is right on the money. This goes without saying, but if you were one to be more inconspicuous, zip-ups, flannels, and especially white hoodies were your way to go. This leads us to one question. What kind of person reads this stuff? Well, my friend, this is where the video gets a little more somber. Like I said in the beginning, if you were a well-liked, well-adjusted kid, you probably weren't in this fandom, though I admit there's always outliers. No, there was one common theme to a lot of these stories, especially the ones about people. Whether it be Jeff, Toby, or Clockwork, these characters were usually kids that got bullied at school, came from abusive homes, or both. These tales are spun by troubled kids who are trying to make sense of their situation while also providing comfort and understanding to other troubled kids. For many, these stories served as an I see you. You're not alone. You don't deserve this. A lot of these stories end with the characters taking revenge on not totally innocent people, but those who have hurt them. Yes, violence is never the answer, but can you really blame a child for trying to make sense of feelings that are too large for them in the best way they know how? That's why a lot of the creepypasta fandom doesn't dwell on the horror aspect at all. If you look at a lot of creepypasta fan content, especially that regarding the Slender proxies, the narrative you'll see is strangely wholesome. The whole idea of the proxies is that Slender Man is a strange leader figure who takes in these lost forgotten teens and turns them into his own family of assassins. The comics and fan art that follows this dynamic very rarely shows the group of ragtags killing the innocent. No, it more often shows them behaving like a family. A found family. And when they do kill or harm, it's actually usually more of a Suicide Squad situation with them killing other killers. Yeah, it's weird, it's dark, it's creepy, but it's also sad. These kids who are projecting themselves onto these misfit characters are giving them the one thing they crave more than anything. A family. The one friend I personally met through Creepypasta has now been my friend for over a decade. Creepypasta has harbored a group of people that don't belong and brought them together in the most unconventional way possible. But I honestly believe that if you're brought together through circumstances like this, you're more likely to be lifetime friends. In a way, Creepypasta fans were a ragtag family, just like the proxies. Kinda strange to think that all this could come from a stack of poorly written fanfictions. That has been my revisit of the Creepypasta fandom, and thanks for watching.